what was childhood like for Don Diesel? Like, take us through that real quick.
Well, I mean, I grew up, my father and my mother was, working, hard workers, I guess. You know what I mean? My mother, she was like, she worked at, like, fucking Ford or General Motors or something, GMC. My mother used to, like, her first job when I was first born, from what I know, she was working at GMC and my father was working at Bethlehem Steel. So they both came with, like, that hard working mentality, that hustle mentality and all that. But at the same time, it was like, we was right in the midst of the 80's, you feel me? Like, right in the midst of the 80's baby type. So, that's right when the crack era really hit. The crack epidemic really hit. So, like, in the midst of me coming up as a kid, like, we basically was cool. Like, my peoples was hard workers, everything was good. But then, like, once it got to a certain point within that crack era, that crack epidemic, like, it started to touch. It started to touch people. It started to touch people around us. Like, as I always like to say to people, I saw different aspects of Baltimore in different areas.
Did it touch your parents, per se?
Yeah. It touched my parents. It touched people around me. Parents touched somehow, closer family members and everything. So, those things, when those things happen, we had also seen what it was before that. Like how I could say, like, I'm one of those people that could speak on what it's like before the crack era and after the crack era. You feel me? I'm one of those people that can speak on what it's like in Baltimore before gangs and after, gangs came. And like all these different transitions that we could see in the Baltimore history, like I was able to see both sides of it, like on this side and that side.
Right.
So yeah, like before the crack era, shit was cool. Like, we used to have a little Baltimore the city to read signs written on the little benches and shit, and like everybody was like trying to be on some positive shit. We had like Kurt Smoke and shit. Like I guess that was cool. We had a little black mayor, and the city was kind of on some positive shit. We had a little rec centers and shit like that. You know what I mean? Lillian Jones and all that. That was open. You had motherfucking Maccabees. You had all these little different spots where people can go at, and it would be like real life, like. You can actually sit around with your family, chill outside, be at the park, be like almost like you at the beach and shit in the city type shit, like just chilling there with your family. But then,
and this before
the crack era, right? You feel me? This was like when, like, kids could walk home by themselves and shit like that, like groups of kids, like, you know what I'm saying? It was a little different type of shit that just little sinuances you would notice, little nuances you would notice, like, damn, I ain't noticed that much after that shit really hit. You know what I'm saying? It was like families was together. You feel me? Mothers was going to school, all that shit, right? But then when that shit came, you notice like families start to break up. Motherfuckers that was like your age and shit, next thing you know, they start getting into the little fast life. You feel me? They might hustle or they might end up with the shit. Like it was people I was knowing that was like 18 that was with that shit. Like when I was 8, somebody that I know that was real close to me gave me coke, put that shit on my gums. I ain't know what the fuck it was. Like, my told me it was candy, you feel me? So I just put all right, this candy. I'm like, nah, I put the candy on my gums. That shit had my face numb, you feel me? So the whole time, now I'm looking like, all right, this is what it is. I'm 8 years old, smoking Newports and shit. Like, from that part of time, when that started to hit in, that's when it started to open up for my, like, so I'm 8 years old, smoking Newports, getting coke rubbed on my gums, getting pants rubbed by an 18-year-old bitch.
Where the fuck is your mother and father at this time, though? Because it's like, that's a lot for an 8-year-old to be. I mean, and I ain't saying like it's unbelievable, because I'm from Baltimore, and I've, me being young, 5, 6, I've seen and probably have done some things that, excuse me, a person might not do until they 13, 15, you know what I'm saying? So I get it, coming from where we from, but like, where's your mother and father at when this type of stuff is going down?
Right, that's the thing. So like, generally, to be honest, like my mother, she a single mother at the time. Her and my father done broke up. My father was there at the time, but he had, little different issues with, things that he was dealing with as far as his little side hustles, side chicks, whatever you might want to call it, getting him caught up. So he was a player, you feel me? It is what it is. Pop was a player. But end of the day, that left mom's open the way as though she got work. She just got work, you feel me? She ain't really got time. She gonna drop me off over here, drop me off over there, you feel me, to the little babysitter And, you know, Mom Dukes ain't really around. She working. She ain't really going, if this was on her watch, she probably would have not been cool with it. But the idea is she working. So this shit is like not on the watch of the peoples, but it's like, yeah, they wasn't around. Like a couple times, Mom Duke sent me to the store to get some Newports for her ass. Like, nigga, she tired, she working, whatever the it is. It's probably a bad decision, but at the end of the day, now I'm going to the store getting some Newports, a little extra change. I'm grabbing me one. You feel me? Let me see what this about. You feel me? So now I'm going to light up. You feel me? Now I'm smoking Newports at 8, motherfucking getting pants rubbed. You feel me? Like that. But like, nah, that shit was even before then. Like 3 years old, nigga was smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Hitting joints and shit like that. So that's a whole nother story we got to go back to, part of the childhood. But yeah, like, you know, coming up in our hoods, like we used to give my, like we'd dip our fingers in the drinks and get like a kid a little finger for like if they like teething or something, right? Or if it's like a little 8-month, 1 year old.
I've seen people give kids.
See people did like that, but it's
one of the most craziest. Like, you feel me? But I don't know.
It's one of the craziest things, but at the same time, it's not, because it's like, all right, depending on how you doing, if they teeth and whatever. But I done seen it went to the extreme ways, though. You giving my baby 2, 3, my joints, and my baby passed out, sleep, drunk as a like, you feel me, off of 3 little fingers. So it's like, that's what people would use to, like, kind of like sedate babies. I guess the weed aspect was added to it in my life, like, you know what I mean? Like, as me as a kid, I'm 3, I'm running around, you know what I mean? My pops say, all right, well, here, go ahead, take a little hit, you feel me? I hit the little
That's
J.
ridiculous. That's out of control.
It's out of control.
There's no way we can excuse it.
No way, for real.
I think we're going to cut that part of the interview out.
I mean, that's cool if you want, you feel me? End of the day.
We ain't promoting,
it's child neglect,
weed,
child abuse in a certain way if you really look at it, but nah,
we gotta nurture our babies, and that's why, that's actually one of the questions that I was trying to get to for real. I was gonna ask you, like, being as though you was in a household with drug abuse and like that, like, how did that affect you? You feel me? Like, your parents getting high or things of that nature, like, cause I dealt with it myself, both mother and father addicted to cocaine, addicted to heroin, you feel me? So like, and it affected me. I probably ain't know how it was affecting me at that time, you feel me? But I know for a fact it affected me in certain ways, you feel me? And it affected them, you feel me? So like, just talk about that, like, how did that transition, cause you can see the crack epidemic and all that, y'all was working at General Mills, everything was cool. Like, how did that transition happen? How was that transition for y'all as a family?
Right. That transition was shaking, you know what I mean? It was more or less like, to be honest, it was shaking, but I ain't really feeling as much, to be honest. And it was a good insulation on their behalf, you know what I mean? Especially my mother, because like I said, at a certain point, she wasn't around my pop like that no more. Now, my pop was still selling the bread. He was still, you know, going to child support, all that. But yeah, like, even when it comes to the aspect of, like, the beef and shit like that, I saw that. I saw the aspects of the results of the that they was on, you feel me? Like, I don't think it got to the point of, like, heroin or not, but I think they were just fucking with the coke or the cracks, like, at some point. Like, it ain't really get that bad for me to actually be saying it, though. Like, it was I saw the results, and then later on, like, it came out that that's what it was, and, you know, I talked to both of them about it, you know, and they both confirmed it. But at the end of the day, they were able to stray away from it fast, where a lot of people weren't able to. Like, I had other family members and other friends of mine who parents, you know, stayed in that realm, and it just, you know, took them all the way out, you know what I mean? So I did see the difference, as in, like, coming from, you know, the stable to where we are, where we have, like, not 2 parents, and now we getting WIC and stuff like that, versus us when we wasn't getting WIC. Everything was together, you know, it wasn't really great, but things was decent, you know what I'm saying? Things was okay. So, but going from that transition to the transition with, you know what I'm saying, that after the crack epidemic, it was like more families was like this. It wasn't just one, it wasn't just 2, it was morphine, as you say, like, you know, you even, you know, went through some of these things. So it's like the transition of the crack epidemic really came in and kind of broke a lot of things that was already there as far as structure, or some things that weren't already even there. Some things that was already on thin ice got broken even harder by that, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of created a rift in that. But as far as the epidemic itself, how I think it changed things was like the perspectives of people, because I was able to see, like, even in the midst of the crack epidemic, you had like the AIDS epidemic hit. So I was able to see my that was 35 years old, 30 years old, just straight die in like 30 days. Like, what the f just happened to yo? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that was an aspect of it too, because even with the drug epidemic, here come the AIDS epidemic. You know, so it was just all these different changes that you was able to see beforehand and at the, and you definitely witnessed it. It drove me in a certain direction, of course, but I can't say it affected me as much as I know it affected some people. Yeah, you know what I mean? It definitely drove me in a direction though, because I noticed, like, I actually saw what was happening. Like, some people don't be knowing what happened. And as you going through things and you constantly going through something, but you don't understand what's happening, it makes it harder for you to like cope and harder for you to like act in the right direction and the right movements, because you don't really even know what you're going through. So I think I kind of saw it from an early point. And yeah, coming up in my childhood, even with my grandfather, like, you know, he was drinking and all that. Like, so I saw aspects of how drugs and how it could change you. And okay, I don't really want to do too much of that. Like, you know, it was different little things I was noticing. So as I got up and started to, you know, learn more and notice things, I started to pay attention. Like, okay, this probably ain't what I want to do, or this probably ain't what I want to do. I ain't never smoked crack. I ain't never, you know, sniffed coke. I ain't never played with no heroin, none of that. You know what I'm saying? So
that's good.
Yeah, just saying all that around me. I done popped a couple pills, sipped a little bit of lean, a little bit of the, you know, do say Pat Ron, but I ain't, you know, I don't do none of that other